Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Don Marsh. Mother's Day for St. Louis jazz vocalist Denise Thimes is special in more ways than one. It's a time to reflect and honor, as we all do, our mothers and their role in our lives. But for Denise, whose mother died of pancreatic cancer 2 decades ago, it's also been an opportunity to raise money for cancer research in her mother's memory. Once again, she'll do so in a special benefit concert this Sunday at the Touhill on the Umsel campus for the Mildred Thimes Foundation for Pancreatic Research. Denise Thimes joins me in studio to talk about that and more. It is so great to see you.
Thank you, Don. It's wonderful to be here.
I can't wait to hear some of your music. But let's talk about Mom and this mission that you're on. What was it about your mom that inspired you?
My mother was just such a doting mom. Now that I'm a mother and I look back on the years and see how my mother was never judgmental and was always there to give us advice through, our bad times and, of course, our wonderful times and our awarding times, She was a very soft-spoken woman, and she always was in the background of everything because her children and her husband were in the limelight, so to speak, and she was just the one that we can depend on to keep things going for us.
And she's been gone now for a couple of decades.
Yes. My mom's been gone for about 22 years now.
And how long ago did you start this project of the Sunday Mother's Day concerts? We
actually started around 2005. We were doing the concerts, but I actually, let me just say this. I started the concert in the beginning, Don, because when my mom was diagnosed in 1997, I was out of the country when I got back. She was diagnosed in January. The doctors had given her 6 months. So I was thinking if that was the case with my mom, she would be gone by June. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to think what holiday would come before, her, expiration date. And it was Mother's Day. So I wanted to do a Mother's Day concert so my mother would have a last time to hear me. Mm-hmm. And as a result, we've been doing it every year. So structurally, we've been doing it since 2005, but we started like around 2001, I believe. Yeah. And then Anheuser-Busch came along and really put more structure with it with Johnny Furr. And then after that, Ameren, Missouri, and Worldwide, and Centene. And so we're just so proud of being able to be where we are today.
Sounds like you've raised a few bucks for this research.
We have tried to. We give to the Siteman Cancer Center. We partner with Muriel Karp over there and Dr. Lannis Hall, and we're just so proud to be. We're a very new foundation, and we're not extremely established, but we're getting there. And so one of the things that I always wanted to do was to be able to donate to Siteman because they do pancreatic cancer research.
All cancer is bad, but
yes.
Pancreatic cancer particularly so. People who are so afflicted really don't have much of a chance.
Yes, sir. It's pretty much that's the case. My mother did live for 11 months, although she was given 6 months. And it's not, of course, in all, when your loved one is stricken with the disease of cancer, it has a domino effect on the family. Although my father was the breadwinner for our home, you would have thought that it was my mother because the morale and everything in our home was just completely lost. Mm-hmm. We just did not know what to do or where to turn because she took care of everything.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of what kind of progress they've been making in the research on that?
Well, the last that I saw was that the Whipple was about the best thing going, but that is if they catch pancreatic cancer.
Well, what is the Whipple?
The Whipple is it's sort of like this instrument, and it's round, and it is just like what it says. It has like it whipples around. Mm-hmm. They put that in where the pancreas and it sort of like goes around to get out the cancer, what's in there, and pull it back out. Oh, really? But that's only if you're in the early stages of pancreatic cancer. When you're at stage 3 and 4, that you're not considered for that operation. So
Well, let's talk about the music and how you're going to be paying tribute to Mom.
Yes.
How do you plan these concerts? I mean, what determines what you're going to sing and what you're going to play?
That's a really good question because this year was my first year that I'm very spiritual, Don, and God just gives me these songs and you feel your flow, and you probably deal with it in another way as an announcer, but you just feel your flow, and it's like I wasn't feeling my flow, and I was like, okay, God, you're gonna have to give me some songs. So actually this year was the first time that my songs came a little late to me. But I usually start pondering around January, and hoping that by March I would know what my complete song list would be.
And the list will be different pretty much every year?
Oh, my goodness, yes. It's a new, fresh concert every year. Can I tell you more about the concert?
I do. That's why we're here.
We're bringing the wonderful Matthew Whitaker back. Yeah. He is the 17 years old now. Last year, he was seen on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and this year he was on the Today show. So he's really making a mark for himself. He is an extraordinary young jazz pianist who happens to be blind, and we're so happy to have him back. And then a young man who has performed all over the world. He is a tenor. His name is Jermaine Smith. He will start the show with the Lift Every Voice in an arrangement that he and Dr. Dello Thetford would be doing, and then he'll come back and do some more in the concert. But you talking about an extraordinary voice. He's worked with Opera Theater of St. Louis, and he's traveled all over the world.
You talk about being blind as a musician. It didn't seem to bother or hurt Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder.
Absolutely, and he's been compared to another Stevie Wonder because he's so extraordinary.
I wonder if losing the gift of sight in some way gives you a different kind of feeling or something else that you can bring to the music.
It
Maybe
does.
the sighted people can't.
It does. And I know somebody was saying, well, how does she know she's not blind? Well, I had the pleasure of working with a young man for a very long time, Tony Simmons here in St. Louis, who was blind. And I had those conversations with Tony. And so what happens is that your hearing and your sense of the music, your overall sense of the music is more magnified than a person that has their sight. And so he has to depend on his ears like we depend on our sight. And so there were times when I would be singing and Tony would know exactly where I was going before I would even go there, because he had such a keen sense of hearing it.
What are some of the songs on the list this time?
Oh, I usually don't tell.
Oh, well,
but,
I don't want to, if this is part of the thing.
No, that's okay. I was just sharing, Diane Reeves has a wonderful song that she does called Tango. And tango starts off with these wonderful sort of, I think it's a mixture of like Cuban, African, even some Mexican riffs in there. And so I'm going to segue that song into a song that a lot of artists did, but I liked Diana Krall's version of Boulevard of Broken Dreams. It's a very sad song, but to segue it with tango on top of that, it makes for a very interesting piece.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams. It's
yeah.
I know that one. Know that one
yes.
well. You said coming in that one of your mom's favorite was Skylark.
Yes,
and we actually have a copy of your presentation
yes.
of Skylark. Let's listen to some of that
okay.
For you and for Mom and for me and for the audience.
Oh, thank you. Skylark, have you anything to say to me? Can you tell me where my love can be? Is there a shadow in the mist where someone's waiting to be kissed? Oh, Skylark, where my heart can go a journey over the shadows and the rain to a blossom-covered plain, and in your lonely flight, haven't you heard the music in the night? Wonderful music, faint as a will-o'-the-wisp, crazy as a loon, sad as a gypsy, serenading the moon. Oh, skylark.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
You have still got it, girl. There's no question about it. Your mom is smiling right now, and so is Hoagie Carmichael.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Your eyes were closed as you were listening to that. Were you thinking of Mom?
I was. Yeah.
When you do the concerts, such as the one Sunday at the Touhill, are you a different singer because of what you're doing it for?
Absolutely.
How so?
Absolutely. I was just sharing that with a young lady. She was saying, I've seen you perform. And I said, yeah, but you haven't seen me at my Mother's Day concert. And my Mother's Day concert is very special because of what it is and why, we're doing it. But then I also have to keep in mind that there are other people that are there bringing their moms. And that's a special day that we celebrate, their mothers. But we also know there are people there that are celebrating the lives of their mothers that they no longer have. And so it's a lot of things that's going on, and that plays a part in the music, and it also plays very heavy on my performance.
Yeah. Your music is pretty much mostly standards, the American songbook kind of thing. What kind of an audience do you draw? Because today's music is so different.
Well, what I do, I draw an audience that definitely have a love, for jazz, a love for the music. But in my concerts, I do switch it up. I am actually doing Al Green's "How Can You Mend a Broken Heart."
It's another great one. Another great one.
And so I try to switch it up a little bit for the sake of, there are people in the audience that say they're not jazz lovers. The hugest compliment that a person can give me, say, well, I thought I didn't like jazz, but after I heard your concert, I love jazz. So we try to mix it up just a tad bit, but for the most part, it is jazz standards.
Yeah. How many albums do you have out there that people can get a hold of?
I have 4 albums. We have that particular Skylark is on the Denise Thimes Live in the Lou CD, and you can go to denisetimes.com and email me, and we'll get you any Denise Thimes music you want.
We will put a link to that on our website at stlpublicradio.org. How's the career going right now?
The career's going very well. I'm so blessed to have been able to debut in New York City the beginning of March. Yeah. I was at Dizzy's Coca-Cola Room at Jazz at Lincoln Center. And then shortly thereafter, I kind of moved to Chicago, and so
come on back.
I was hoping I could get away with that. You saying that, but anyway. So yeah, but I'm still here. St. Louis, I love, and it's my home. But I'm regularly at a place called Winter's Jazz Club in Chicago. And I did my Nancy Wilson tribute there.
I love Nancy Wilson.
Oh, don't we all? Oh. And I did that in the month of March as well. So I'm, everybody's telling me about this critic, the Chicago Tribune critic, Howard Reich. It's like, oh man, he's really hard. And I get this raving review from Howard Reich, and I'm so just on cloud 9 about that. And so they can also go to my website to read that review. But I was very pleased, and so I was just on cloud 9 for the month of March, and been happy ever since.
I'll bet you. I was astounded to hear that you hadn't played New York. I mean, March was the first time when you were the headliner.
Yeah, when I was the headliner, I was there. I was at the Blue Note with Clark Terry some years back.
There's a name.
Yeah, and I toured with Mr. Terry for just a short while before he became ill. And but again, I was there under Clark Terry's name, and then we were there with James Moody. Yeah. And so, so it's just now happening.
Well, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
I want to talk more about that, but I also want to give the audience a chance to hear some more of your music because it is so fine. We have another clip. This is from Live in the Lou, that album. Don't Get Around Much Anymore.
Miss the Saturday dance. Heard they crowded the floor. I couldn't do it without you. Hey, don't get around much anymore. Yeah, thought I visit the club. Honey, I got as far as the door. They all ask me about you. Hey, I don't get around much anymore. Well, darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, yeah. But nevertheless, why stir up memories? Been invited on dates, might have gone, but what for? Awfully different without you, huh? I don't get around much any. Should but do you know?
Don't Get Around Much Anymore. That is from the album Live in the Lou, and we're talking with Denise Thimes, whose album that is. That is some kind of saxophone.
That was some kind of saxophone. Mr. Houston Person.
Is he local?
Oh, no. He's performed at Jazz St. Louis. Every year he's in town at Jazz St. Louis. Sometimes he's at the Sheldon. Yeah, but no, he is definitely one of the legends and of jazz saxophone.
Yeah, well, outstanding. And
Thank
we've
you.
got some people behind the glass there.
Yeah, some young people.
Young people looking listening. What do you make of today's music?
I wish that the message in the music would change. Mm-hmm. Yes, there is music out there that has messages in it, but I wish we had more, and I wish we would play it more, and I wish that we would embrace it more, and I wish that we would be more intentional with it. Yeah. And because, music sets the tone of the universe as far as I'm concerned.
It's hard to whistle. It's hard to hum. It's hard to sing along with a lot of it. It is for me, and that's I call the hip hop music in particular. Mm-hmm. I call it poetry with a beat because I can't whistle it.
I like hip hop music. Yeah. Of course, a lot of people went to see Hamilton, and I think that was something that was classic. And to do that with that style of music was very clever. Mm-hmm. I don't want to sound like, well, if you don't do that with it, then it's not music. But there is some of it that I could live without.
The Hamilton example you just gave brought something else very important, and that was the diversity on the stage.
Yes.
Having people of color playing parts of you wouldn't normally associate with that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's
just incredible.
It's changing things right here in St. Louis.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. But overall, I think that the music industry is really booming, if that's your thing. But I really, we really do have to preserve the jazz And we really do have to, ask people to continue to get out and support jazz musicians and support jazz events, because we don't want to lose it. So,
are you going to be going back to New York sometime soon?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope to. Yes, I really do. So, as a matter of fact, I'm negotiating that as we speak. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's so important, I know, to entertainers to have that
yes.
on the resume.
It really is.
And glad that you finally had a chance to go there.
Thank you.
Let's once again go through what's going to be happening on Sunday at the Touhill.
Sunday at the Touhill, May 13th, starts off with a lavish buffet dinner. That begins at 3 p.m., catered by Sess and Judy's. After dinner, concert will begin promptly at 5:30 p.m. And again, we've got the wonderful Matthew Whitaker, Jermaine Smith, and myself, and it just makes for an excellent evening. And we have a purse auction for the moms. So if in case you haven't gotten mom that gift yet, come and bid on some wonderful, wonderful purses.
Sounds like it's going to be a full afternoon and
It
early
will
evening
be.
At the Touhill.
Yes.
Well, tickets still available, I'm sure?
Tickets are still available at the Touhill online or Touhill box office. The dinner, however, is sold out.
That's great. We will get all that information on our website at stlpublicradio.org. Denise Thimes, wonderful to see you, wonderful to hear you. And
thank you, Don.
Keep
Thank
going.
you.
Don't stop.
All right.
Don't stop.
Thank you.
Denise Thimes. Archive versions of past St. Louis On the Air programs available for download or podcast at stlpublicradio.org/STLonair. St. Louis On the Air, a production of St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU. Thanks for listening. I'm Don Marsh. A little more Denise Thimes.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.